Hey, what's up, tubers? This is the SHTF Hunter. Coming at you today with a little video I've been trying to make for a little while now. Um, this is the $100 get home bag from Walmart. Instead of like just getting everything at one time, I took my time to, pick out the best items for the money that I think that I would like to have in a bag in a car, and in case of emergency I need to get home. This is not a a long-term bushcrafting kit. It's not a, not a defensive kit. It's just you trying to get home. I don't really believe in bugging out. I live in the mountains, and I'm already bugged out. So, I'm just trying to get home. And I need to get home bags. I don't need bug out bags. But so I got everything here. Try to keep the cost. It's not come up right at almost $100. I got a couple items over here, some water that I didn't add to the cost, but anyway, we'll start off with the pack. This pack was $11, and it's a 25-liter pack. It's nothing special, but it does hold all these items. And another thing I was going to say, some of these items were actually maybe on clearance, and so I got some of the items cheaper. Not all the items come from the same Walmart. Some they actually come from 3 different Walmarts, because the 1 or 2 of the Walmarts didn't have the items, and so there's like 3 Walmarts sometimes I frequent, and that's where some of the items came from. All right. So I showed you the bag. We'll just go down the list. Next is going to be the headlamp. It's an Ozark Trail headlamp. They had 2 of them at the time I bought this. And I bought this particular one because it has Duracell batteries and not cheap batteries. If you buy, it might cost $1 or 2 more, but it's worth it to have the good batteries. I think if you're not buying, if your batteries ain't Duracell or Energizer, you're just wasting your money. So I bought the headlamp because it was had Duracell batteries. Next item will be your multiplier. This is the Ozark Trail multiplier. And the other day, most of the time these are $10. The other day I actually seen some at a Walmart that was like $7 or $8. But it has a knife and tools inside. You've probably seen them before. Typically, this is a $10 set of multipliers. Next, big lighters. 2 of these were $3. So, I always gotta have a way to make fire. Next will be Tylenol. If you've ever been outside and had a headache and that, ain't got no way to take care of a headache, it really sucks. So I always have Tylenol in most of my vehicles. There's a little tube right here you can find in the travel section. And they're usually pretty cheap, but always going to need your first aid kit. Now, this is like $2.50. This is also in the travel section of Walmart. Next, stainless steel cup. My local Walmart actually didn't have this. I think it used to be like a $4 stainless steel cup. I actually like it. It's got big handles. But you can use this to boil water and purify your water. But the stainless steel cup is now $5.50. I want to say this used to cost like $4, or it may have been $5. I don't know, but it used to be cheaper than what it is now. But I think it's a good piece of kit. Okay, next item's a survival tent. So, yeah, that's your cover. If you like a Mylar material, same material as like a space blanket, and that actually is like $4. So that's $4 to be covered for a night. The next is a life straw. I'm not sure, but I think this was on clearance, and I got it for $10. I think these usually cost around almost $20, but I got this one for 10 because I think they were on clearance. Space blanket, $2.50. So, you know, if you need additional cover, keep warm. I don't know how well these actually work as far as keeping warm. Everybody says they reflect heat. I don't know if they do or not. I've never had to try it, but. All right, so that's like $60 worth of items right there. Moving forward, I kept the receipts, kept, you know, track of the cost and everything. We're gonna do the stove. So this is the Ozark Trail stove. It has a self-igniter. This was 15 bucks. This is one of the little, I think he called this a what's the isobutane. This was about $6. The cool thing about this stove, it's got a couple cool things actually. It's got an adapter to use a 1 pound disposable propane tanks. That's one of the reasons I kind of like this little stove. It's got a little bit of versatility, and like I say, it's got a self-igniter for 15 bucks. And I'm pretty sure you can get the same little stove on Amazon. A buddy of mine at work actually got one of these. It didn't say Ozark Trail, but it was the exact same stove he got on Amazon. But anyway, next will be, this is just a little $3 plastic water bottle. So I added that. That's cheap enough. Eating utensils. So, to my knowledge, they used to have a really good Ozark Trail eating utensil, like a knife, fork, spoon that folded out, and it was really cool. And it was like actual size spoon, actual size fork. I have seen a smaller version of that, and I really don't like it. But so these are like under $2, I think, at Walmart, and it's kind of like hard plastic spoon, fork, knife. So, all right. So I got down here. That was like $86, and I got down here to 3 more items I felt like I needed. One's a poncho. This has actually got a heat retaining, I guess, the space blanket material inside. So it's like a heat retaining poncho. And that was like $4. Got cordage. Instead of getting 550 cord, this is actually 1100 cord. So it's supposed to be twice as strong. It's 50 feet. It costs as much as 50 foot of 550 cord at Walmart, but you're getting twice the strength. Now, I don't know that I ever had 1100 cord, so this was a no-brainer. I'm getting a stronger, cord for the same price. So, and the last item to make it about $100 is Gorilla Tape. It is a small roll of Gorilla Tape, and they come in at like $5. Now this Gorilla Tape is good for fire tinder. You strip it up. This burns pretty good, so you can use it. You ain't got no other dry fire tinder. Try to make fire. All right. Now, I didn't add these into the cost. I didn't add any food into the cost. I was right at $100. But water, everybody has bottled water in your home. It don't cost much. I would recommend at least keeping 2 of these in your bug out bag. So also, freeze dry food is expensive, but they have it at Walmart most of the time in the hunting section. Freeze dry is super expensive, but it lasts for a long time. We're talking like 15 years. But if you can't afford to freeze dry food, or you'll have to get it later. But look at Walmart usually has them StarKist tuna packets. I think they're like $2. They have a long shelf life. Those tuna packets are also used in MREs, so that tells you how long they'll last. If it was a year over, they're Mylar packaging. If it was a year over the expiration date, I'd still eat it. And but anyway, sometimes survival, you know, in a vehicle. Just, you know, just food and water sometimes. So, you know, my vehicles, all my survival bags are gonna have a couple bottles of water. They're gonna have some type of food in them too. When I was in Iraq in 2009 and 10, you know, every truck had a case of MREs and a case of water. And, you know, if we had that, we always felt like we were good. Anyway, so there's $100 worth of Walmart items for a get home bag. This is the SHTF Hunter, and I'm out.